God, through the people of Bethlehem Lutheran Church in Mason City, grew me up and grew me in faith. Not only did they teach me about Jesus Christ and his being resurrected from the dead, but they also helped me begin to use my own gifts. Right after confirmation, I was invited to teach Sunday school and Vacation Bible School. I was 13 years old. During that Vacation Bible School, we needed to use a public grade school because the church wasn't big enough for all the children who came. And so I was given a class that we would teach in the hallway of the public school. Now, that probably wasn't a real good idea because it didn't have any boundaries and the children could just get up and leave. I remember the second day they gave me a different class in a classroom. I think that's where I learned the importance of having trustworthy learning environments and boundaries. I learned about the ultimate meaning of teaching the faith very young. I was, yes, just 13 or 14 years old and teaching a kindergarten Sunday school class. I remember the children, I can still see them. Kevin, who was just 5, was always an active little boy, and I remember saying to him as he got up from the table, "Don't run." Well, that week, he did run. He ran out into the street and he was actually killed. It was such a sad time. And I learned that you really can never ultimately keep safe those people for whom you want to have a trustworthy learning environment. I continued to serve at church throughout high school and junior college. Walther League, our youth group, was an important time for us. Also choir and Sunday school, all of those things were part of the fabric of my growing and of my daily life. One time, a group of us were going to a convention of our youth group in Clinton, Iowa, which was way across the state. 6 of us were going, and we realized the 3 guys and the 3 women, one's name was Gary and Larry, so we just decided to call ourselves Gary, Larry, Terry, Mary, and Carrie, all of us from Mason City, Iowa. And we named ourselves that through the whole weekend. I think I sang a solo at that convention and then was elected district treasurer. I have no idea of the connection. The summer between my my first and second year at junior college was an international Walther League convention in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Actually, I have a letter that I had saved. I sent to 2 of my friends in Des Moines, and I must have asked them to send it back to me because I still have it. We left Mason City by train Saturday afternoon, August 10th. I felt as though I should be getting off when we reached Des Moines, seeing that I'd never been further south than that before. However, we passed right by that city as we sped toward Kansas City. We would arrive there at midnight, I remember, and have to change for Tulsa. On the train, the 6 of us who were traveling together wanted to find 3 double seats together, so we went to the back of the car. I don't think that we noticed we were the only white people there, and that section was really cordoned off for African Americans. But when we did, we decided to stay seated there anyway. When we were at the convention at the university in Oklahoma, I was put in a group of counselors because at that time I was counseling a youth group, and it was a wonderful experience. This was a time of growing, a time of, well, here I say it. We met people from all over the United States and Canada. I found 2 girls from Fort Dodge and some women from California. It was a wonderful time. I was with the counselors who were attending the convention. Most were pastors, teachers, vicars, or older laymen. But I was pleased because although we discussed some of the same problems as those being discussed in other groups, we had a much more frank and open discussion being counselors. And then a little further on. The last evening of the convention, we left from the field house and walked across the campus to the place for Vespers. That night, the full impact of the significance of this convention hit me. I felt as if my heart would burst. The opportunity to be part of youth work, both for my own growth but also of nurturing younger people, was a very important part of my formation. I did, because I was district treasurer, have an opportunity to go to a national training event for presidents and treasurers of districts, kind of like a synod. But I remember that was the same weekend as the conference for editors of college newspapers in Iowa City, and I chose to go to the latter instead. It became clear to me that some of my vocational choices would have to be made very soon. I had known a deaconess at Bethlehem Lutheran Church, Shirley Grow, a wonderful woman. I respect her to this day. So through her, I heard and saw a person who become a deaconess in the Lutheran Church, a way for me as a woman to serve. At that time, college scholarships and, well, particularly financial aid for students was much less available. So Reverend Hintz, knowing that I wanted to become a deaconess, told me about Valparaiso, and I learned about it. It seemed oceans away in Indiana. But Reverend Hintz went around to the people in the congregation and asked them for money to help send me to college. So Mr. and Mrs. Horn gave $25, and the Lukers gave 10 or 15. So Reverend Hintz and I had a joint bank account. He would arrange for money from the congregation, and I would write them thank you notes. And that's how I got to go to college. Late that summer, there was a Walther League meeting saying goodbye to my sister, who was now teaching, and to a friend, Gary, going off to become a pastor, and to me, who was going off to become a deaconess. I spent Labor Day finishing up the books for being the treasurer of Iowa District East, and then I was off to Valparaiso University.